Hey everyone, Tim Higgins here. We are here to talk about the new Blaze Mobile Test Recorder. Now what is that, Tim? Well, that is the new tool that's actually a part of the Blaze Mobile Pro suite. Now what that gives you, if you've seen other videos of the Blaze Mobile Pro, if you haven't, go check them out. But if you have, if you notice, I uploaded some files. A few of those were Java files, a YAML file, and the actual binary code itself. Now, as QA developers today, yes, I said developers, as QA testers, we should call them QA developers, because in the mobile app world, they have to know Java very intensely in order to do these tests. Well, with the Blaze Mobile Test Recorder, that is no longer needed, and I'm going to show you how quick and cool that is. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here in the slide deck. We're going to jump right over here into it. Actually, I'm going to close it because I want to start my simulator first. Simulator, emulator, tomato, tomato. I'm going to show you, I have a list of, and I really hate copy and paste when it comes to Notepad to command line, but we should get a list of our simulators here. If you go over, I'm going to show you an easy way to do that. If you download the Android SDK, it's free. And if I go up here to tools in my AVD manager, I get a list of my devices. I can add as many devices as I want. I only did 4 for now, just because I think that would be kind of easy. Now, with seeing that, we'll go back over here. So I added 4 of these. I kind of cheated with my notepad here. I'm going to pick this one just because it has a good resolution. It's easy to follow. And again, see what I mean? Copy and paste really stinks between notepad and the command line. So copy, paste, go. All right, and that should start it up. There it goes. So nice and neat. So we've got some good screen resolution. Now, let's talk about this cool device called Blaze Mobile Test Recorder. So we're going to start it up. Now the first thing you're going to do is when you come to the screen, you have what we call profiles. Now you can create a profile from scratch, but why would you? We give you 2 templates here. The idea of the profile is maybe you want to create profiles only for Android apps, and for every one of those you want to make sure you hit all the devices, right? And then you'd have another one for iOS and hit all the devices for it. You could create these templates and then other people can come in later and run the recordings. But let's do one. So I'm going to click on Android and I'm going to go over to create. Now, very importantly, I'm not going to go through these fields. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I need to tell it which device I'm using, okay, because I'm using this one. And I need to tell it where my APK file is, which is here. Now, very importantly, notice that's the only file we're using because this tool is going to create, let me name this and save it. The Blaze Mobile Test Recorder is going to create all the other files for us, which is pretty impressive. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. Now we're connecting to our device, so give it a second. Try to get some screen resolution here. Now it's not important to have this open. You kind of want to sometimes because you can see the motion, but it's really not that important. What we're going to do, I just hit refresh. Sometimes if you don't see it right away, just hit refresh, no big deal. But I'm going to hit that pretty eyeball. I don't know if I'd say pretty, but it's an eyeball to start my recording. Okay, so I'm going to select on an object. The first thing I want to do is say, let's make sure that object is there. Okay, there we go. Now, it's very important for you as the listener and watcher to pay attention to see how much code I actually write. Okay, now my events. First thing we do is we're going to just try to log in. We're going to get a message back, and that's our valid test. Okay, it's going to be a false positive because I expect it to fail. If I click on my object, and the first thing was, before I even do that, let's take a snapshot. So let me just get some back away, and I want a screenshot. I want a beginning and end of my process. So now what I'm going to do is click back on this again and click. Okay, there we go. Notice we got the keyboard over here as well. Now my next step is going to be enter text. Okay, text would be some email at yahoo.com. Don't even know if Yahoo is in existence anymore, but there we go. Let's pretend like we're back in the early 90s or 80s, and we do. So the next thing we're going to do is enter our password. Yes, you guessed it. We're going to click. So I click in this text field, and then what I've got to do is, yes, again, enter some stuff. So we're going to say cool password. All right. So now, if you notice, I still have interaction between the two. If I say OK here, and I go back to my recorder, whoops, I didn't mean close that window, and hit refresh, my keypad is now gone. Okay, pretty cool. I think so anyway. What I want to do now is take another screenshot, just for fun, because now what we're going to do is do a click here, right? So let's highlight that and we're going to say click. And now we got our results. Wrong email. Now in our test results, that click may happen too fast. So we want to put a delay in there. So 1000 milliseconds. Sounds like a decent quick delay for me. And then what I want to do now is take another screenshot, because I want to take a screenshot of my error message, right? Now if I look up here, I'm getting my events being led through here. I haven't wrote any code. The very last thing I want to do is I want to highlight this message, and I just want to verify that that message exists. Okay, there we go. And we have it in there. And that's really all I want for my script. That's a pretty good test for me. So I'm going to scroll up here. I'm going to say stop. I'm going to download my files. It is now downloading. It downloaded it to my downloads folder. So let's go see what we created. If I go to my downloads, I have this zip file. Let's go ahead and unzip it. Now if you noticed, I have some Java files and a YAML file. We did not have to write that. The Blaze Mobile Test Recorder created those for us. If I even look at this, let's say open with Notepad, just because I don't want to open up anything else. And you can see here are my steps that I created. Now we didn't have to write this, right? So as a QA tester, I don't need to know Java. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this. Oh, and the same for the YAML. But now if you remember a few weeks ago, or if you watched the other videos, I'm sorry, whenever it happened, we talked about the Blaze Mobile Pro. So we're going to log in here. And I'm going to create a test. Now the good news is I created this test with this phone. I don't remember what kind it is. My notepad's probably here somewhere. This is a Pixel 2 XL API 21. I have no idea what that means because I'm not an Android guy. But now I can pick any device just to test that code against. I don't have to pick the same one. That's pretty cool. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to drop it in. I'm going to give it a few seconds to load it in. I'm going to save. That takes a few seconds. Now, while that's saving, I'm going to go cleanly stop all this. So I'm going to hit close. All right, and I'm going to leave it there for now so we can come back and talk to it. But I am going to go ahead and stop my recorder. I mean my emulator. So we'll gracefully shut that down. Okay, there we go. Control C will shut it down for you. That's not important. Truth was, I was just wasting time to get this to finish. So now we're going to run. Now, the kicks and giggles, this takes a few minutes to run as well. So while that's running, we're going to go back over here and we're going to fly through these real quick. So now that you've seen it in action, you know that you don't need Java programming. You don't need to keep up with your devices because you can select the device that you want. We also have the ability to do native test recording for iOS and Android. iOS would require a Mac, but you can download it and install it. Of course, Android can work on Windows, Java, whatever. We have the open source framework. We are powered by Appium. Now, Appium is an open source automation framework. Not to get too detailed to that, but the most important is it does support many different types of languages. Now, with saying that, the recorder has a friendly UI. As you saw that, you can create your profiles, the real-time touch, and these are the screens that you just looked at. Okay, so now let me go back up here because I hear my CPU has slowed down, which tells me it's done. I click on this. This is my test. I can do my screenshots. It takes a few seconds to load. Actually, it's taking longer than usual. There it is. Okay, so there's one. Here it is with our data, 2, and we've got one with our error password. Well, here's one with the data. It's a little out of order, but that's okay. And here's the one with the error message. Now, if I go back to my summary, I can click on this and actually be sent to Blaze Meter. How cool is that? So now the true benefit of that is if I go back over here and if I click on my tests, okay, this is the test we just ran, the exact same code. Guess what? Now I can pick a different device. Run test. Okay, while that's running, let's recap of what we actually did. Okay, so if I go back over here, only thing we did was logged in. We created a profile. We ran that profile. Running the profile, we clicked on some UIs to create some events, and then it created the scripts for us that we exported. Those scripts were then uploaded to Blaze Mobile Pro, and within I don't know, 5 minutes maybe, it actually created our test results. Now, What's saying that this will take maybe a few minutes, because remember we still have that delay, even though it's 1,000 milliseconds and that kind of cool jazz. It still takes a few minutes to run. But the point is, I'm running against the same code. There we go. So I've got 2 tests that took maybe 15 minutes to run. Okay, how cool is that? So that is the Blaze Mobile Test Recorder. Now, with saying that, if you're interested, reach out to us. We'd be glad to give you a demo. We'd be glad to help you out in any way possible. Hope this was helpful and a nice introduction.